Okay, this will be an interesting one. Let's see if we can make this look good. I wonder how big we're going to make this one. We're going here. 380 that way and 380 this way. Okay. Right, let's see if this one will come up a treat. Okay, what is it? It is Paint for Freedom art competition. So, I don't know what they mean by Paint for Freedom. It's like amateur budding 15 to 18 year olds and hobby artists to enter will be in da-da-da-da-da. So, just inspiration and hope for the enslaved. Well, that's a good theme, actually. That is a very good theme because there's a lot of enslavement going on around the world, and it's just not fair that in this day and age, there we go, they've got some pictures of slaves. So yeah, this is really sad to see that this is happening in this day and age. So we're just going to make this into an interesting little demo. But basically I see that there's a lot of injustice going on, and it's just not happening. It shouldn't be happening in the post-21st century, or should I say in the 2010s. It should have been abolished decades ago, but and electronics are made by slaves in slave-like conditions in factories, like Apple have their iPhones made in a place called Foxconn, which is a real where people have been known to suicide because the conditions are so horrid to work in. So it happens, folks. It happens. Unfortunately, I need this equipment, and I have to fucking just grudgingly accept that there are terrible things happening in these factories. I don't know where Foxconn are a huge company apparently. For all I know, this iPhone, no, this is not an iPhone. This Samsung phone could have been made in another slave-like factory, for all I know. So I think that'll look really good if we can enlarge it vertically. So yeah, it's really sad to see that slavery is still predominant in today's society, in today's world. We've got to change it somehow, and hopefully art exhibitions like this can do something to raise awareness. I am ashamed that the equipment I use is possibly been made in a slave factory. Take this photocopier. This photocopier is made in 3 countries. Different parts were made in different places. There's Japan, but what's more concerning is that other parts were made in China and Vietnam, which to me suggests that there's slavery going on somewhere in the company, because it's cheaper to make it in China and Vietnam. For some reason they've made part of it in Japan. I don't know which part is made in Japan, because the sticker that says made in Japan is on the same part of the photocopier that's made in China. So I'm actually a bit confused. But basically, it's not a good look, folks, that the technology we use day to day is manufactured with the hands of people who are less fortunate than us in third world countries. So I'm not happy that I have to buy equipment made in those sorts of conditions, but I have no choice because there's no alternative. There's just no. It's not fair, but what can we do? I can't go telling Konica Minolta to manufacture their copier only in Japan and make sure everything's. They're just greedy people that run these big corporations. They're greedy. They want every cent squeezed out of their workers. They don't give a fuck if these people live or die. The only reason they might worry about them dying is because they may get sued or they may get exposed, and they don't want to. And when darkness gets exposed to light, it often runs away or doesn't want to address the issue. So really, these people who are running these big companies, they don't want to be, I don't understand, whatever, they just run around like, what am I saying? Sorry folks, this is a really horrible topic to talk about, and it's horrible that I've had to buy equipment from companies that build this shit, but these are multinational greedy people. These are not nice people we're talking about. The man in Japan who is the CEO of Konica Minolta, his name is Shohei Yamana. If you want to look up Shohei Yamana, he's on LinkedIn, so look up Shoei, Shohei like the helmet, and Yamane, Yamana. So if you can just not put that into your phone with Instagram, no, not Instagram, with LinkedIn, yeah, you can read a bit about him, but maybe send him an angry message, maybe write him an angry message if he's not that hard to, he might not be easy to contact, because he's a big wig, and like, not quite a celebrity, but he's still a big fish, and big fish, of course, don't mix with the little fish as much as they just stick to their own client. They're cliquey. Rich people appear to be very cliquey. They don't want to associate with the less fortunate people or the less rich people, so they hang out with their own kind, which really sucks. So I don't know if it's possible to send Shohei an angry message to him to say this has got to stop. Something's got to be done about it, folks, because you just have to imagine yourself. If you don't understand or don't care that this slavery is happening, all you have to do, folks, is work out is to basically imagine how would you feel if you were working in a factory like that, if you didn't get enough sleep, if you had to work longer than 8 hours a day, maybe working 6 days a week instead of 5 days a week, and probably not having any sick pay or anything, or holiday pay, or whatever normally we get in a more modern country or a society. Imagine what it's like not having any of that privilege. Imagine having to live in a fucking dorm room with other people, other workers, instead of your family. I mean, seriously, a lot of these Chinese workers run from poverty, like from living in villages and working in places like Foxconn, hoping for a new life, but then they get treated like shit. Many of them are often seen dozing off during their meal breaks. I think toilet breaks are limited as well, so there's no real freedom for these people. They try to escape poverty and they end up in a shit job, which some of them have ultimately paid the price and committed suicide. So what did Foxconn do to address the issue? Well, it looks like they did nothing except a physical barrier to suicide. They put suicide nets around the building so that they wouldn't lose any more workers to suicide. But that's not how you solve the fucking problem, Foxconn. You've got to basically make your conditions more fairer and easier for these people. Why don't you think of yourselves, imagine if you were fucking working for your stupid company and you were a worker, not a fucking CEO or a fucking executive or an office person who gets a lot of money. Imagine if you were the one working fucking hard for Foxconn. If Foxconn wasn't your business, you were fucking one of the workers and you get treated like shit. How would you feel? But no, you don't have a fucking bone of empathy in your body, you fuckwits. You don't care. You just want your fucking money and you want your cake and eat it. You want to squeeze every last dollar out of these poor people, but that's not fucking fair. And I hope karma bites you on the arse, bitches. So go fuck yourselves, Foxconn and Konica Minolta and all these other companies. Fuck off, go get fucked. Stop treating people like fucking machines, you half-breeds.